That yo Gotti, say your prayers. You better say your prayers.
You know they coming, don't you?
Yo, it's your kid, Young Dolph, and I got Glizz up right here with me. You know what I mean? Shout out to Montreal. That's my little cousin, slash my little brother, slash you play with him, I'm gonna shoot you in your face.
Damn, if you scrap. Damn, if you scrap. Damn, if you scrap. Damn, if you scrap. Ah, okay.
The whole slide for Dolph is still going strong, and one person who's really been holding it down from the jump is Key Glock. He was Dolph's protege, a cousin who turned into a brother. So when Dolph got killed, it hit him hard. Dude went completely ghost, shut down his socials, left Memphis, just disappeared for a while. But once he came back, he was on go. He started dropping diss tracks, going at anyone tied to Dolph's death, mainly Yo Gotti and his crew, even mocking some of the losses on their side. That's probably why there's been talk about Gotti possibly coming for him now, cause Glock hasn't backed down at all. Key Glock. Just like young Dolph, Key Glock didn't have it easy growing up. Coming out of South Memphis, Markevious Cathy, better known as Key Glock, was just a baby when life hit him hard. His mom, Tamika Cathy, aka Mama Glock, got locked up when he was only 16 months old, sentenced to 15 years. His dad was in and out of the picture, never really around.
I was born and raised in South Memphis. Like, everything I learned came like out of South Memphis. Like, I ain't go no other hood.
Mama Glock was solid though. She was all about getting it by any means for her son. Doing hair in the kitchen wasn't cutting it, so she turned to the streets. Things went smooth at first, but you know how the game goes. Nothing comes for free. Eventually, while hitting a lick with some of her girls, she got caught slipping and ended up getting sentenced with no bond, just straight time.
A situation happened with me and some other females, and we committed a robbery, and the day that I was arrested, he was 20 months.
With both parents out of the way, Glock was basically on his own. But like always, Grandma came through in the clutch. She stepped up and raised him the best she could, but without parents, it's only so much she could shield him from. The streets started calling early.
Wouldn't come home from school sometime, then I would have to ride around looking for him. He would be with the wrong crowd of little boys, and I would have to get him, bring him home, and kind of just fuss and put fear in him.
By the time Glock was 6, he was already around sticks. That's how deep the streets were woven into his life. School wasn't much better, acting out, wilding on teachers, but who could really blame him? He was a kid trying to figure it out in a tough world. Still, Glock held it down for Mama Glock. Even with the streets pulling at him, he was building a name for himself. Music wasn't even in his plans at first, but once he came across legends like 3 6 Mafia, Lil Wayne, and Gucci Mane, something lit up in him, a fire that would grow with time. He dropped his first official track, Actin', back in 2013 when he was just in middle school. Even through the grind, he always carried that pain. Seeing other kids with their parents while he had none tore him up inside. But everything changed on April 16, 2014. Mama Glock came home. That reunion hit different. It filled a hole in his heart and sparked something in him. From there, he started focusing more on music, but the streets still had their grip on him. At 18, Glock caught a case that nearly derailed it all. In March 2016, while he was working on his tape Whole Lotta Air Thing, he got arrested in connection to a nightclub shooting in Memphis. 3 people were injured by shrapnel, and Glock was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. He ended up doing 90 days behind bars before getting back out. After that, he started tightening up. Still had one foot in the streets, but was leaning more into music. He wasn't all the way sold on being a rapper, but everyone around him saw the talent and kept pushing him in that direction. And that's when the stars lined up. Dolph came into the picture heavy.
We cousins, like we family through marriage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know he was gonna rap. I didn't know I was gonna rap. I didn't know I was gonna, you know what I'm saying, be rocking with him. Like,
Key Glock and young Dolph. Even though they were blood cousins, Glock never tried to ride Dolph's wave. He had that independent mindset, didn't want a handout. But Dolph, being the real one he was, saw the hustle in Glock and decided to help him level up. From there, it was up. Glock started learning the ropes, soaking up the game, and putting in real work.
I never went to him like, bro, I wanna be with you, I wanna do this music. Just seen the work ethic, you know what I'm saying? And all that shit, like, but I can help you. You know what I'm saying?
He dropped heat after heat. Glock Season, Glock Bond, Glaucoma, Son of a Gun, Yellow Tape 2. And with Dolph, they were an unstoppable duo. Their collabs like Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber 2 had the streets lit.
Hey, what's up, Flipper? What's up? Let me holler at these folk, Glock.
Glock was finally living the dream, running it up for his city and his people. He was shutting down shows, even rolling loud, and going crazy on stage. Glock is really cut from the same cloth as Dolph. They both had that humble vibe even with all the fame. No matter how big they got, they never forgot where they came from. Memphis was always in their hearts. But just like Dolph, Glock's good nature didn't mean he was soft. If you tried him, it could get real quick. That's exactly what went down with CMG affiliate Lil Migo. They were constantly going at each other online, trading disses and stirring up tension. It got to the point where there was real talk about banning dudes from certain parts of the city and getting things active in the streets. Glock wasn't the type to fold, so he pulled up ready for whatever.
You scrap? Damn, is you scrap? Damn, is you scrap? Damn, is you scrap? Damn, is you scrap? Ah, okay.
And while that beef was bubbling, Glock kept his foot on the gas, especially when it came to CMG's Black Youngsta. If you know the history, you know Dolph had serious issues with both Black and Gotti, 2 attempts on his life that he survived. So Glock, being loyal to his day one, wasn't letting that slide. He stood on business for Dolph every time. But the pressure caught up again in 2019 when Glock got arrested after killing his set at Rolling Loud. He was hit with charges for carrying a concealed weapon and possession of more than 20 grams of weed, both serious felonies in Florida. Bail was set at $17,500, but Glock got out and went right back to the grind. Around that time, he and Dolph were really living it up, clowning around and doing wild stuff. It was dope seeing 2 dudes from the trenches winning and still keeping it real, still being themselves. Glock was fully locked in with PRE, holding it down and taking over the game right alongside Dolph. But then came that dark day, November 17th. Dolph was killed, and just like that, Glock's whole world flipped upside down. He shut everything down, deleted his socials, dipped out of Memphis, and went ghost. It was clear the pain hit deep. Later on, pics surfaced showing him in tears at Dolph's celebration of life, and it was clear he wasn't just mourning a friend, he lost his brother. It took a while before Glock spoke up. First, he snapped on folks constantly asking if he was okay, and then he finally opened up, letting the world know just how much Dolph's death tore him up. He got a tattoo of Dolph to honor him and made a promise. He'd never let his name fade and would carry PRE to the top. And Glock's been standing on that promise ever since. He came out swinging, dropping diss tracks like Already Know 2 aimed at Yo Gotti and even mocking Big Juke's death. He's been relentless, showing he's not done sliding for Dolph, but it's not just him, the streets are still sliding for Dolph too. After Dolph was killed, the pain Memphis felt was unbearable, and what followed was a level of chaos the city had never seen before. In the month after Dolph's murder, Memphis turned into a war zone. Retaliation after retaliation shook this city to its core. At least 40 people were believed to have been killed in direct connection to Dolph's death, and Memphis quickly climbed the ranks to become one of the most dangerous cities in the country. But the real question is, just how many lives have been lost in the wake of young Dolph's death?
I didn't know that Dolph was loved like this. They've literally been Memphis for 3 straight years since young Dolph died. I've never seen some shit like this.
Darion D. Money Childs. The first person to face the consequences of young Dolph's murder was a clear message to anyone remotely involved, whether they pulled the trigger, played a role behind the scenes, or even just knew the wrong people. One of the earliest casualties was comedian Darion D. Money Childs, who made the fatal mistake of joking about Dolph's death online.
In a series of Facebook posts, Childs questioned the outrage that people are feeling about the death of Dolph. His sister Shamicia Mason says his words were taken out of context.
He must have thought it was just internet talk, something that would blow over in a few days, but in Memphis, the streets don't forget, and they definitely don't forgive. Just a week after his post, Child was shot and killed. His death sent a chilling message. This wasn't just rap beef.
It's this video of Darion Childs that captivated the hearts of millions. Now, years later, many are talking about how the Memphis comedian died days after making remarks about young Dolph on social media.
Big Newski. Child's murder was just the beginning. As the months went on, more and more people connected to Dolph's murder started dropping like flies. The next high-profile target was Big Newski, a rapper signed to Moneybagg Yo and the cousin of Big 30. In January 2022, Newski was gunned down outside the New Horizon River Apartments on Kazaza Road. It was around 7 p.m. when the shots rang out, and when the smoke cleared, the 26-year-old rapper was dead.
Now, what we do know right now is that police are reporting that one male victim was shot here on this scene. Now, again, the victim did not survive his injuries. The victim is 26 years old. The victim who's pronounced dead is 26 years old.
But this wasn't just some random act of violence. The streets quickly started buzzing with rumors that Newski had ties to Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, one of the main suspects in Dolph's killing. It didn't take long for people to dig up old photos showing Newski and Straight Drop posing in front of the same car, fueling speculation that there was more to his death than met the eye. Some believed it was another calculated hit in the name of revenge. As the bodies continued to drop, a pattern started emerging. Most of the people being targeted had one thing in common: they were allegedly linked to CMG and Yo Gotti, whether directly or through street affiliations.
A high-profile gang member was killed in a shooting in Orange Mound this afternoon. This is Joshua Taylor, was named a person of interest in the young Dolph murder case. Neighbors telling us they think the victim was actually shot last night.
CEO TZ. But their ties went beyond the music industry. Many of them were also connected to the infamous Memphis gang, Trula Mafia. One of the biggest names on that list was Joshua Taylor, aka CEO TZ, a high-ranking member of the Trula Mafia and someone who had been on the police radar for his alleged involvement in Dolph's murder. TZ's time was running out. On June 14, 2023, police were called to Spotswood Avenue near Bunton Street around 12:56 p.m. after reports of a man down. When they arrived, they found Taylor's lifeless body inside a car riddled with gunshot wounds. According to reports, he had actually been shot the night before, but his body wasn't discovered until the next afternoon near a church. His death marked yet another name crossed off the list in this ongoing war.
Vitalis Taylor, also known as CEO TZ, was found shot to death in Orange Mound Wednesday at Spotswood and Bunton. Those who live nearby tell us Taylor was actually shot the night before, discovered lifeless.
And just when people thought the violence might slow down, another shocking murder made it clear that no one was safe. Lotta Cash Desto. On September 24, 2022, up-and-coming female rapper Lotta Cash Desto, whose real name was Destiny Golden, was shot and killed in what many believe to be another act of retribution for young Dolph. Desto was with a female friend in the 5500 block of Richmond Avenue around 2:40 a.m. when she pulled up behind a dark-colored four-door vehicle at a traffic light. Before she even knew what was happening, two shooters emerged from the car and opened fire, hitting her multiple times. She died at the scene, while her friend was seriously injured but survived. At first, people were shocked. Why would someone go after Lotta Cash Desto? She wasn't even directly tied to Dolph's murder. But then a major plot twist came to light. Turns out her father was none other than Hernandez Govan, the man accused of orchestrating the entire hit on young Dolph.
Govan asked for young Dolph to be murdered.
Mr. Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the young Dolph. He played the role of the person who solicited.
After Govan's arrest, he went online and made a cryptic post, seemingly hinting that his own actions might have played a role in his daughter's death. It was a brutal reality. Desto had been caught in the crossfire of her father's choices. If there was any doubt that Dolph's people were moving with calculated precision, this murder erased it. Tomanuel Benson. And they weren't done yet. The next major hit came on August 18, 2023. The Memphis Police Department responded to a shooting at a BP gas station on South Parkway East around 9:30 a.m. When they arrived, they found a man lying on the ground with a fatal gunshot wound. That man was Tomanuel Benson, Black Youngsta's own brother. The shooter didn't even try to hide their face. They walked up in broad daylight and handled business, making it clear they weren't worried about being caught. The police even had a clear image of the suspect, which they quickly released to the public, along with a $5,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest.
He was wanted on second-degree murder charges for the shooting in August of Tomanuel Benson, the brother of Memphis rapper Black Youngsta.
Tomanuel's murder sent shockwaves through the city, but to many, it wasn't surprising. Black Youngsta had been one of young Dolph's most vocal enemies. Back in 2017, Black Youngsta was arrested in connection with an attempt on Dolph's life, where over 100 rounds were fired at his bulletproof SUV. Though he beat the charges, the bad blood between him and Dolph never went away. For years, Black Youngsta taunted Dolph at every opportunity, from diss tracks to Instagram posts. Now the same war he had been a part of had come knocking at his own front door. Losing his brother to the same cycle of violence he once glorified was a painful reality he now had to face. Big Juke. Yo Gotti might have thought he was untouchable in this whole war, but Dolph's crew had other plans. While most of the people connected to Dolph's murder were already facing the consequences, Gotti had managed to avoid any direct retaliation, at least for a while. But as time went on, it became clear that PRE wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. They had already hit plenty of people in his circle, and it seemed like they were working their way up the chain. The message was simple: if you had anything to do with Dolph's murder, you were going to feel the heat. And they almost made Gotti himself feel it in the worst way. They even went after his family. His mother, of all people, was reportedly a target. Luckily, she managed to escape, but his brother, Big Juke, wasn't so fortunate. The irony of Big Juke's death is what made it even more chilling. He wasn't out in the streets, at a club, or even at one of his usual hangout spots. He was at a funeral, paying respects to a loved one. But in the world of straight politics, there was no such thing as a safe space. When it's your time, it's your time. According to reports, Juke and Yo Gotti were both at the funeral service for their relative, OG Eric Bolden. A video clip shared by YouTube journalist Seti Nash showed them at the service, standing by the casket. But what most people didn't notice at the time was that there were two men lurking in the back of the church, watching Big Juke's every move. They were waiting for the perfect opportunity, and they found it at the repass after the service. Yo Gotti didn't attend the repass. If he had, things might have gone down even worse. But Big Juke did. As Juke got into his vehicle outside Perignon's Restaurant and Event Center on Winchester Road, the shooters made their move. Some say Yo Gotti's mother was in the car with him, but that didn't stop the hit from going down. The moment Juke sat down, bullets started flying. The car was sprayed up, and while Gotti's mom somehow managed to escape, Big Juke wasn't so lucky.
Multiple sources tell Action News 5 that Memphis rapper Yo Gotti's older brother, Anthony Mims, also known as Big Juke, was shot and killed.
He was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. He didn't make it. Surveillance footage later caught a white SUV with no plates speeding away from the scene. It was clear this was a targeted hit, and everyone knew exactly why.
Tonight, police are looking for a white Ford Explorer SUV in connection with the shooting. It has dark tinted windows and black wheels. A witness told police they saw suspects in the SUV speeding away.
See, Big Juke wasn't just Yo Gotti's brother. He was also one of the loudest people mocking Dolph after his murder. He taunted Dolph's artists, flaunted his money, and basically made it clear that he had no remorse for what happened. At one point, he was even caught on video disrespecting a Dolph mural, proving just how deep the beef ran.
I don't paint no beside two real with a in the middle, man. Y'all don't do that, man. Don't about legacy. So right here, y'all, two gangsters.
But what really tied him to Dolph's death was his connections. PRE artist Grove Hero had already gone online after Dolph was killed, putting Juke on blast. He claimed Juke was the one who put up the $40,000 bounty to have Dolph taken out. Grove Hero even said that if he ever ran into Juke, it would be on sight.
And keep in mind, I said, if I see Juke, if I see Gotti, if I see Migo, or if I see Youngster, I'ma get on that. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, bro.
And now, with Juke's death, people couldn't help but connect the dots.
Bro, I'm not no shake, bro. I ain't no to tell me to put $40,000 on my head and I'm finna do that, bro. Anybody that associate with you, and this ain't got nothing to do with them other folks, bro. It's certain folks that got something to do with this. It's Juke, and Gotti really ain't got nothing to do with this shit. But Juke is his brother. It's Juke. It's Juke. It's Migo, it's Youngster. These the folks that got something to do with this.
Even before this, Juke was known to be around some key figures who were linked to Dolph's assassination. He was seen on video hanging out with CEO TZ, one of the guys reportedly involved in Dolph's murder. On top of that, he had pictures with Hernandez Govan, the man the authorities believe orchestrated the whole thing. With ties like that, it was only a matter of time before the streets came for him. One by one, people connected to Dolph's murder are getting taken out, and the circle keeps getting smaller.